Slide the external battery lock to the unlocked position. Slide and hold the external battery release latch to the open position. Slide the external battery out of the chassis. Align the external battery with the battery bay. Slide it into position until it latches the unlocked position. Slide and hold the external battery release latch to the open position. Slide the external battery out of the chassis. Align the external battery with the battery bay. Slide it into position until it latches. Insert a straightened paper clip into the release hole of the SIM card tray. Pull the tray from the slot and leave it out until servicing is complete. Insert the tray into the slot until it clicks into place. A plastic pry tool into each of the two notches located near the front edge of the keyboard frame. Carefully slide the frame forward about 2.5 millimeters to reveal the screws. The screws are located next to the following keys: the up arrow key, the semicolon key, the J key, the F key, the S key, and the control key. Carefully loosen the 6 captive screws securing the keyboard to the chassis. Lift the front edge of the keyboard, then lift the rear edge. Lift the moisture seal to expose the cables. Disconnect both cables from the system board. Feed both of the keyboard cables through the moisture seal. Connect both of the keyboard cables to the system board. Insert the rear edge of the keyboard under the corresponding edge of the keyboard assembly. Carefully tighten the 6 captive screws to secure the keyboard to the system. The screws are located next to the following keys: the up arrow key, the control key, the S key, the F key, the J key, and the semicolon key. Using a plastic pry tool, carefully slide the frame toward the front of the system using the 2 notches located near the front edge of the keyboard frame. Loosen the 8 captive screws that secure the base cover. Use a plastic pry tool to disconnect the clips along the rear of the cover. Then continue prying along the edges. Warning: make sure not to damage any ports or boards. Lift the front of the base cover to pivot it free from the securing clips. Align the base cover with the ports of the system. Press along the edges to secure the locking clips. Make sure the cover is seated correctly. Tighten 8 captive screws. Disconnect the power cable from the system board. Remove 3 retaining screws. Lift the built-in battery straight up to remove it. Align the built-in battery with the power connection and place it into the keyboard bezel assembly. Install the 3 retaining screws. Carefully route the built-in battery cable into the guides. connect the power cable to the system board. Remove the single retaining screw securing the hard disk drive and bracket to the keyboard bezel assembly. Slide the drive assembly to disconnect the drive and release it from the clips. Detach the hard drive bracket by carefully pulling the mounting post from each of the 4 hard drive screw holes. Insert each of the bracket posts into the screw mount holes on the hard disk drive. Slide the drive into position and connect the drive to the system. Install the single retaining screw.